Welcome. Let's get started. Welcome to the 2017 Memorial Day program here at Macon County Veterans Park. My name is Jim McGill. I'm the commander of the American Legion, Post 108 here in Franklin. On behalf of the Great Nation, welcome to all veterans and guests. We will now have our opening prayer with Carl Moyer. Please rise and uncover.
Good morning. Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you for such a beautiful day that we are having here right now, and let's just hope the weather holds out. So now, asking your blessings upon this gathering here that we have today to honor all of our veterans and anyone involved with the American Legion and VFW and all of the service organizations that we have here in town. Now, Lord, just bless this thing and let us really have a good service. Amen.
Amen. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. And Carl, take your hat. We'll now have a few words from the chairman of the Memorial Park Committee, Neil Riendu.
Good morning. How's everybody this morning? Welcome to your Veterans Memorial. Is it beautiful or what? Yeah. All right. The way it's kept beautiful is with regular maintenance and regular everything on this park, which is not inexpensive at all. Our main source of income to maintain your park is through donations and the sale of bricks. Now, people have asked, do you have to live here to have a brick in our park? Absolutely not. I've got one over there with the Army for my dad. I've had requests from people. Had requests from Hawaii and Alaska to have bricks in this park, and of course we did. Now, the person can be either with us or gone. Anybody can have a brick in here. All you do is pick up a brick form with one of the envelopes as you come in that little kiosk, or there's some on the table. Just fill it out and with your check and send it in. We will get bricks ordered and we will get them installed. It helps to know what branch of service your veteran was in, so we can put it in the appropriate aisle. But please help us support our park. It does take a lot of maintenance, and it is not inexpensive. So welcome to your park and have a great day. Thank you.
Here in Macon County, we have various service organizations, and we have posted in front of you, we have the American Legion, we have the American Legion Auxiliary, we have the Sons of the American Legions, we have the Vietnam Veterans of America, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. This is an American Legion event. Historically, the VFW takes Veterans Day. And as part of our ceremonies in the American Legion, we do a POW empty chair ceremony. I would like to read that at this time. A POW empty chair is placed at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the thousands of American POWs and MIAs still unaccounted for from all wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for us all to share no effort to secure the release of all prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of those who have died bravely in the defense of liberty, and a full accounting for those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. And in keeping with the POW, this is Nat Henry's chair. It was dedicated in his honor. It is maintained at our post. We're honored to have the POW MIA chair from Nat Henry. At this time, the commander of the VBA will do the presentation of our national colors. Please rise. Present Hunt. Order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take your seats. I'd like to speak for a moment about why you see all these flags up here and why you should belong to one of these veterans organizations. It's all about voting. We belong to the largest and oldest organization of the veteran service organizations, the American Legion. Each year they go before Congress. Each year they are the checks for all these people that want to cut every program out there. They're the ones looking out for you, along with the VBA and the VFW, DAV, all the others. It's important to get involved. If you're interested, see me later. I would like to now pay tribute to all the combat veterans that are present, or shall I just say veterans present from the different wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. If you are a World War II veteran, please stand and raise your hand. Bob Litton. Right. Thank you. If you were involved in the Korea conflict, I'm sorry, I missed one World War II man right there. One big. How about Korea? If you're a veteran of Korea, please raise your hand and stand. Vietnam. Please raise your hand and stand. Thank you. Was there anybody in Grenada here? I see you over there. Please stand up. Thank you, Grace. Panama veterans. I'm normally the only one. Any conflict in Iraq, whatever the name was, welcome. And lastly, keeping in with the longest running combat in the history of the United States, Afghanistan. Welcome. I have just a few statistics I'd like to share with you right now. We did the POW MIA ceremony earlier, and did you know that from North Carolina there are 1,666 MIAs still unaccounted for? They're being found every day. A lot of people think, oh, MIA is a thing of the past. They're coming home every day. We should make sure that they still continue to come home. Also, killed in action, Korea. 54,246. Vietnam, 58,219. 1,613 were from North Carolina. 8 were from Macon County. Grenada, 19 killed. Panama, 40 killed. By the way, the first guy killed in Panama, his name was Lieutenant Paz, P-A-Z. If you speak Spanish, that means peace. Kind of ironic. Iraq, they're nearing 5,000. Afghanistan is nearing 3,000. One of our locals was killed from the 210th NP in April of 2003. Staff Sergeant Bobby Franklin from the 210th NP Company. He's buried in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and we will be riding to his ceremony again this year. 108 Maconians have given their life in defense of their country since the Civil War. They have bricks. A lot of them are over here on the side. Macon County has a long and proud tradition of supporting their veterans. One of our biggest supporters is the man who is unrolling the extension cords to me, Mr. Ronnie Beal, standing right there. Did you care to say anything? And somehow or another, some brand new tents showed up again for the first time this year. What do you think about these tents? Thank you, Ronnie. All right, at this time we will have the laying of the wreath. We have Shirley Fouts and Louise Womack. One is the president of the VFW Ladies Auxiliary, and then we have the president of the American Legion Auxiliary. They will now place the wreath by the flag. Thank you, ladies. This year's guest speaker is Bill Oxford. I've known Bill Oxford. I've been attending the American Legion conventions for about 5 years now. Every time I go to the convention, there he is smiling like I owe him money or something. I don't get it. You do. I do. Bill Oxford is our past commander, past post commander, past everything. All the way up to the state commander of the American Legion. And this year we are proud to announce that he is the leading candidate for the national commander of the American Legion in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Oxford.
Thank you, Ronnie. And thank you, Jim. Just to clarify a few things, Jim talked about the American Legion, and I'm a life member of the American Legion, but I am also a life member of 8 other organizations: Marine Corps League, VFW, military officers. If you are not part of those organizations, please think about becoming a member. Legislatively, we have to continue to fight for veterans' rights and benefits. The legislators in Raleigh and Washington want to hear what we have to say. So the louder we speak, the more they listen. So if you are not a member, I would encourage you, please think about doing that. And before I go much further, how many Marines in the crowd? Semper Fi Marines. I started my career in the Marine Corps and then spent another 30 plus years in the National Guard and Army Reserves. But those yellow footprints at Paris Island changed my life, I will tell you that. And anybody that has ever been there realizes what that means. But we are here today to celebrate Memorial Day. But we could say it better. by lest we forget. If you are a veteran who has served this country, you are to be commended. Thank you for your service and the sacrifices that you have made. But if you're here today, today's not about you. Today is about those who have served this nation and made the ultimate sacrifice in service to this country. The American military has been involved in serving this country for more than 230 years, and that service can never be understated or repaid. That service to this country has been around since the American Revolution in 1775, and today our American military is serving in more than 130 countries around the world. And even to this day, Americans continue to die on foreign soil. And if I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, did anybody see the race on TV last night? They were showing the names of the people who have been killed this past year in service to this country. 35 names, 35 people continued to serve this country by dying for it. And I'm embarrassed that I didn't know that, but I saw it and I looked at every name as it scrolled across the TV last night. We owe those folks a debt of gratitude that we can never repay. But that's 35 this past year. But overall, since the American Revolution, more than 1 million people have died in service to this country. Their sacrifices must be continually remembered and honored. Most of them were young, into prime. Husbands, sons, daughters, fathers, wives, mothers, uncles. They all left a nation that will be forever in their debt. Picture in your mind's eye, if you can, the empty seat at a dinner table, opening presents at Christmas with somebody missing, the Thanksgiving Day football game in the yard with a star player not there, the daughter who has no father to walk her down the aisle, the football game with the empty seat, all lost in service to you and me and this country. And I'll have trouble with this, but I'm going to try. I'd like to introduce you to a couple of personal acquaintances of mine. In 2006 in Hawaii, it's a bright, sunny spring afternoon. There's a young woman at home in base housing, and if you've ever been in base housing, you can picture what that looks like. She was watching the soaps on TV. She saw a staff car stop in front of her house, and she knew immediately. She was waiting on her 2 kids to get home from school, but can you comprehend the absolute terror when she saw those 4 Marines get out of that staff car? Because her guy told her, they won't come if I'm hurt. They brought the news that changed her and her 2 children's lives forever. Staff Sergeant Jason Ramsewer had been deployed to Afghanistan previously, and he'd only been in Iraq for a month when he was killed by an IED. Jason was from my hometown in Lenore. I used to do the PA for West Caldwell High School football. Jason was not a big guy, but he was a terror as a linebacker. I called his name many, many times. He terrorized running backs. Just red meat. And on the baseball field, he played left field, but I once saw him hit a baseball into another zip code. I mean, just a monster home run. And he was not a big guy. And I think I was the second person that he told he had enlisted in the Marine Corps after his mother. His squad referred to as him as sergeant, killed in service to his country. Those kind of personal acquaintances are difficult at best. But as we go along, we're going to look at a couple different. In 2008, there's another 29-year-old from my hometown killed when the vehicle he was driving stuck a roadside bomb. And he was just a true Southern gentleman. I didn't know Robbie personally, but I knew his dad and his uncle, and I knew his mother vaguely. But they all talked about his personal motto. He said, "My life has a taste that the sheltered will never know." And Robbie, he told a complete story when his little sister asked him why he had to leave again. He said, "I go and do what I do so you won't have to." My little princess. At its core, Memorial Day commemorates the universal, all-encompassing word from the Bible when it said, "No greater love than this does a man have than to lay down his life for his friends." One more introduction. 1st Platoon, Charlie Company, 26th Infantry Regiment, 1st Division, U.S. Army. On a motorized patrol, and I know you've seen enough news. You can picture this in your mind. There's a 19-year-old Spec 4 manning the machine gun on the top of an armored Humvee as they move through this village. Streets, buildings on both sides. You can picture that in your mind. Suddenly, though, not unexpectedly, there's a grenade thrown at the vehicle. It goes into the turret, fell through the bottom of the turret, all the way to the bottom of the vehicle where 4 other soldiers were riding. What he was trained to do was save himself. What he did and why he did it is a different story. Rather than save himself, Specialist Ross McGinnis from Meadville, Pennsylvania, jumped down inside the vehicle, smothered the grenade with his own body. He died instantly, but the other 4 people injured, but they survived their wounds. In July of 2008, in the Oval Office, his parents were presented the Medal of Honor on his behalf. That's an American hero by any standard. But do you think that medal made the loss of their son any easier? I think not. Oliver Wendell Holmes called Memorial Day our most sacred holiday and urged that we not ponder with sad thoughts the passing of our heroes, but rather ponder their legacy. As we ponder the passing of heroes, and Ross McGinnis meets every description, these debts can never be repaid. But I ask you to consider this carefully. Can you consider the point of view of the 4 people who lived because Ross McGinnis was willing to sacrifice his life? Those 4 other soldiers, their wives, children, extended families, they all owe their world to the young man who gave his life to protect theirs. I knew Jason Ramseur personally. Difficult to accept. Robbie Bowman's family, pretty well. Difficult to accept. And I can describe how their deaths made me feel. And I'm sure many of you can relate to the loss of close friends or best buds in battle. But try as we might, we can analyze, dissect, discuss, review, but we can never come up with a way to express the feelings those 4 people have for Ross McGinnis. We as Americans need to understand how thankful those 4 soldiers are. And we should realize that we should feel the same way about every person who ever gave their life in service to this country, because they gave their life to give us what we have. When we talk about this day and the people who gave their lives to preserve and protect this country, are we that thankful? I think not, but I think we should be. Only a few people choose the dangerous but essential work of protecting this country. But we need to say a special prayer for those people who choose to bear the sword to defend this country. We have got to be thankful for their service, their sacrifices, and there is something else we need to realize. We have a responsibility to carry on. And when I was a 10th grader in high school, I learned a poem called Flanders Field. Now, when you think about 10th grade in high school, that was at least 50 years ago. But I didn't realize it at the time. But that poem sticks with me till today, and I'm gonna use it in just a minute. But it gives us a mission. And Flanders Field goes something like this. In Flanders Field, where poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Field. To you, from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. Take up our quarrel with the foe, and if you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies blow in Flanders Field. If we could communicate with those people who have sacrificed their life in service to this country, their message to us, and I firmly believe this, would be, don't let our deaths be in vain. Take up our quarrel. Never give up. Never abandon the American ideals. And always preserve the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy. We have a responsibility to carry the battles to our enemies, because America will always have people who wish us harm, and will never run out of enemies. I hope that you have a happy and safe Memorial Day with your picnics, with your cookouts, vacation, ball games, all those good things. But please remember to honor and be eternally grateful for those members of our society who have lost their lives protecting this country. God bless America, and God bless the American service members who lost their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. As our honor guard takes its place, the flag code of the United States, section 7M, state that all flags will be at half-mast until noon and raised to full staff. Where we have two locations to perform this function, so we're going to raise the flag here a bit early. And then everybody is invited to Macon Post 108, Franklin, North Carolina, right downtown, to witness the raising of our colors at our post at noon. We have a special guest to sing our national anthem as we raise the colors. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Commander of the Fighting Detail, pay our final respects.
Ready. Aim, fire. Aim, fire. Aim, fire. Set, forward.
Thank you for your attendance today. We will now resume the ceremony at Macon Post 108 downtown at noon.
See you guys.